Hi, I'm Kieran. I'm passionate about learning and education. My mission is to help 100,000 businesses leverage digital technologies to make an impact on the world. I do that by helping businesses better understand intelligent automation, data analytics, and digital technologies. This helps to dramatically improve their operational efficiency and profitability. And today I get to talk to Viktoriia, who has just completed a robotic process automation course with the School of Automation in Scotland. Today, we'll talk about how automation is helping create careers that may not have been possible in the past and all the benefits that that brings. Welcome, Viktoriia. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hiya, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Viktoriia, you've not always had or intended to have a career in robotic process automation and intelligent automation. I think at one stage you wanted to be a banker. So tell the audience a little bit more about your background and how did you get started in a career in automation land?
Well, the banking was a sort of ignorant, misinformed idea of banking as the industry of the future when it's actually 200 years in the past. Sorry, bankers. But I think that combining banking and robotic process automation can have so much opportunity to help people all over the world in any industry, help people in financial services do their work faster, less stressful, and more effectively. And I think it bridges a lot of gaps between governments and civilians in healthcare and security. There's just the scope of changes that RPA can bring is monumental, I think. And I think it's really important for people to get familiar with it and to consider it as their own career because I love it.
That's a testament to RPA if I've ever heard one. Is RPA everything you dreamed it could be, or is it more than that?
I would say it's more because right, I think I'll give a little short introduction on how I got to RPA from banking. So I started with a bachelor's in banking and finance, and then about halfway through the bachelor's, I just thought of how many things that were missing and how many pieces of information were outdated and just didn't apply in the modern financial systems. So I thought that the only way to catch up to that information is using technology because there's no way a human brain can really power through all the years and years and years of financial statements and all those things that build our knowledge on finance. So I just started thinking that I have to transfer to technology in order to really catch up to this field, with all the knowledge, with all the history, with all the crises that have been going on in the financial systems in the past 100 years. I just felt like what I was being taught wasn't enough and it wasn't very realistic. So I just decided to take it into my own hands and learn ways to do my own analyses, to do my own forecasting, and just deal with information in the best possible way and the most knowledgeable possible way. So that's how I got into technology. And then I just decided to transition to a master's in financial technology, and then to switch to a more technical field in artificial intelligence, which I didn't manage to complete. Um, it's a story for another day, maybe. But so I dropped out because the war in my country started, and I found School of Automation, and I thought that that would be perfect for me to go from theory and university to hands-on approach and practice with School of Automation, and and then hopefully get a career in it, which I'm doing right now.
Tell us a little bit more about the School of Automation and your journey there, because not everybody's going to be familiar with that. But that's a school that's been set up to help people, young, old, unemployed, anything and everyone, to try and get a career in technology, isn't it?
Absolutely. Um, there's there's the UK division, which is you go through the School of Automation to then be employed by ADP, and then the Irish branch is where people train through the School of Automation to work for government entities in Ireland. So that's sort of the structure of how it works. So far, it's been almost a year that I've been with SOA, and I've seen people's skill sets change dramatically, and people's confidence go up, and people's creativity just go, ooh, I can do so many things now. um I yeah, so I did say I love it. I do, I really do. I think it's creative, I think it's technical, and it's very fulfilling in a way. It's dynamic. You're doing something as opposed to just reading or saying something. You're actually creating things, and it's like your pets. It's like my little bots, my little bots.
If you're to look back at your career in banking, then, or your starting studies in banking, do you regret doing that, or was that a natural part of your journey, or do you just wish you'd done something like the School of Automation right from the very beginning now?
School of Automation right from the very beginning, I would say. I regret not starting with technology earlier on, because I was too intimidated, to be very honest, with the with, the, with what I need to learn to know. Right? It's impossible. What it feels like in the beginning, impossible maths. It's not. It's just maths. Impossible statistics, very scary statistics. Not at all. So it's just these hurdles that people don't feel confident to even enter the industry, to even start. I wish I overcame those hurdles earlier, so I would have been a lot farther in this now. But I'm glad that I did transition earlier or later. I'm here now, so.
Viktoriia, can everyone learn RPA and intelligent automation? The reason I'm asking that is I don't think everyone can become a piano player.
Why not?
You haven't heard my piano skills, and it's more a question on that. It's assumed you need a very logical mindset, and you need to be very deliberate about what you're doing with automation. Or as automation technologies moved on so far that it abstracts and removes some of those requirements of being a classic proper developer?
I would say that sort of the structure of code as a company policy exists in every company, and it's different in every company. So, naming variables, writing comments, all those things, all those details of how to dress your code, they're going to differ company to company, but the principle is the same. The discipline is the same. Um, of course, anyone would like to be full on creative, but that's just not the best approach. And there has to be some structure, there has to be some sort of the way to follow things, so that to make it universal, to make it understandable by any other developers in the team. So things like that, I think you do need a logical mind, but I wouldn't say I have one that's particularly logical, more logical than anyone else, that I'm suitable for RP and others aren't. I think that I read this very interesting book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And have you read it? You look like you read it. Yes, I love that book. And there it says that anyone can become anything in around 10,000 hours. So all you need to do is persevere and really keep doing at it, be consistent, and you're disciplined, and you really keep going and you don't stop. in 10,000 hours, you can train yourself to become an RPA developer, a piano player. Just because someone isn't a good piano player doesn't mean that they're hopeless. It's more of a, it's more of a, they need time and they need the space and they need maybe some help from someone, but it's not, it's very achievable always.
The school opens its doors for a range of people, young, not so young, old, or whatever else. Do you think you need to be young to learn RPA and intelligent automation, or can anybody learn it at any age?
Any age at all, any age at all whatsoever. I think the best developers that I know right now in School of Automation are two girls slightly younger than me, so about 22, 23 years old, and a man of about 45 years of age with decades of experience. Obviously, you don't you just need an attitude, and you just need to be curious, and um you just need to keep going, honestly, because there's so many moments where you're like, "Ugh, I don't understand, I don't, how can this be possible?" Flip the laptop and go home and go take a nap. You just need to not be mad at yourself. You just need to really breathe and really let yourself make a mistake sometimes and then keep going, because it requires a lot of patience. But when you do see the fruits of those patience, you get so motivated and you just cannot stop. I thought for a long time that to be a programmer you need to be a specific kind of person. You need to be really obsessive over this. You need to really like this type of hobbies. You need to have very select characteristics. And then I realized as soon as I started even like playing with it, playing with code, what I wanted to do, that when something works, it gives you such a rush of dopamine that you just cannot stop. So any person from anywhere can become the nerd that sits in front of the computer for 20 hours, because I did. I did. I didn't see myself becoming that person, but I did, and it's very easily addictive. The sort of the rush of things working and you creating things that are amazing. It's a lot of fun.
On the course that you're on, or within the School of Automation, are there any other females that you admire, or will you be a role model for other females getting into robotic process automation and intelligent automation technology?
I would say that my biggest role models in the company are Mari Fraser and Marla Chalmers. They are my best friends right now in the company. They help me so much. It's incredible. They have so much patience with me. I ask for errors all the time. They're developers, both of them, certified developers. They're incredible, fantastic, absolutely admirable. Ukrainian moment there. And I just always look at them as an example, and I always look at their practices as an example, and I always ask for help because they're so helpful and so patient with me. So it's Mary and Marla and Anya O'Donnell from the Irish team. We've only ever spoken on Teams, but she was incredibly helpful, also very patient, and yeah, I would say School of Automation has quite a few women that are incredible employees, colleagues, character wise and skill wise. I just love it here. I love my job.
Final question. What would you say to anybody thinking about starting a career in digital technology? What advice would you give them about going to find a suitable course or a job following their qualification?
Mm, certifications are really really important. So you can learn as many languages as you want. You can learn So I know Python, HTML, SPSS, you can keep going, but it's very, very important to get those certifications so that employees and colleagues can see proof that you are proficient in the language or in a software. And don't don't just get a certification and stay that way. Any language, any software needs refreshing and needs development and needs building up on every year, if not every half a year. It's all very, very dynamic, and it grows really rapidly. So lean in and always develop alongside the software. So really update your knowledge anytime anything new comes up. Follow all the people that are experts in it. So if you're learning a UI path, there's Anders Jensen on YouTube, and he does amazing stuff, and he explains everything really well. Because it's this is something that I had to learn because of the mistakes that I made. It doesn't help anyone if you're too scared to ask questions and if you're too scared to understand things. Just because you're too intimidated to ask something, it won't help anyone. You're just gonna be stuck for longer, and nobody will be able to help you, and it's just a waste of everyone's time. And you really need to get over this insecurity. It's hard. It's really, really hard. I know it feels terrible to ask people when you feel like a deer in the headlights, and it feels so uncomfortable. You feel like you're wasting everyone's time, but actually, by not asking questions, you're wasting everyone's time because nobody can help you, and you're just not achieving things that you could be achieving. So really, really ask questions. Really ask for help. Technology is so cooperative, and everyone is connected, and everyone helps each other. It's not a me versus you type of industry. It's a all of us type of industry. Men, women, young, old, black, white, anything, anywhere, at any time. This is why I love it so much. There's zero um discrimination that can be tolerated in technology, because all that matters is the fact that your gears are shifting and you're making things happen on the digital field.
Viktoriia, thank you so much for today.
Thank you so much.
Your journey is inspiring, all the way from banking and recognizing that it needs to change to AI to School of Automation, where it sounds like you have an amazing experience with superb colleagues. And I love that you're asking people lots of questions, because that should never stop. Nobody should be afraid of asking questions. It's the only way we learn. The people who don't ask questions stop learning, and that's more worrisome. Well, I wish you and the School of Automation and your career every single success. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.